Story 1. Genuine interests, not just food, wine, and travel. Pretty much everybody likes those things. I saw a profile of a man who had at least a dozen books about pumpkins. Sadly, he was an automated program, but I would have loved to listen to him talk about pumpkins. Story 2. Please complete the form. I cannot tell you how many profiles I have seen that say, laughing out loud, I will get around to these prompts later. Story 3. A lack of bitterness and an overall positive vibe. I cannot tell you how many people ruin their profiles with phrases like, who even reads this? Or by complaining about online dating. Story 4. Recent pictures. Take a car selfie if you need to, that is fine, but take off your sunglasses. Fill out the profile. Almost blank profiles show low effort. When we match, engage with me. I always read the profile and ask a question unique to it. I expect him to do the same. I refuse to hold the entire conversation for more than 1 or 2 rounds. If you are low effort in the conversation, you will be deleted. Story 5. Recent pictures. It amazes me how many men post old pictures. The last man I dated looked nothing like his pictures. Please, only recent pictures. Please state honestly if you have children. Essentially, the same information you would want a woman to share. Being vague is not attractive. I understand men like to seem mysterious, but just be upfront. Story 6. Here are the 5 things I look for. 1. Shirtless mirror selfie shows confidence right from the start. A picture of you holding a fish. A man who can hunt is impressive. Multiple group pictures. I enjoy guessing which one you are. Big fan of puzzles. A bio that isn't filled out and says just ask is mysterious. It's like clickbait for a person. A hat and sunglasses in every photo. If I see hair or eyes, I swipe left. Story 7. I am looking for someone to genuinely complete their profile and have good intentions. The profiles I see are always about casual encounters, and it is really a turnoff. Story 8. Most of the pictures on men's profiles are really bad. They are blurry, too zoomed out, have poor lighting, or show poses where the face points down. Some photos are strange, like twerking poses. Pictures are already misleading because they are two-dimensional trying to represent a three-dimensional person. The lack of effort in picking good photos is a turnoff. Story 9. At this point, provide a clear picture of your face without sunglasses and your full body. Sometimes I wonder if the pictures men choose to post actually repel women. Include details about yourself that show your personality. Add some humor. Do not include hints about past drama. Story 10. Ones where the men are not wearing a hat in every photo. Honestly, I am not sure we even care if you are balding or bald, but own it, whatever it is. Story 11. From what I have seen and heard from women, they want a full profile. Real pictures. Face and full body. Not the fishing picture, not the blurry group shots. Just show who you are. Say something real in your biography. Let her get a glimpse of your mind, your vibe. That I like food and travel line does not connect. When you message, do not just say hi or drop a one-liner. Most women are getting flooded with lazy openers. Be different. Be intentional. It goes a long way. Women want to feel safe, seen, and curious. So lead with that energy. You will stand out. Story 12. Fill out the profile with some information about yourself and upload some good pictures. I don't understand why every guy's pictures are either of them holding a fish or a selfie behind the wheel of their car. That makes me think you don't do anything and have nothing interesting to say. Story 13. I am on a dating break right now, but when I used dating applications, these were things I looked for. 1. Smile in your pictures. Group photos should be a maximum of 2. The rest should be just you. Have someone else take pictures for you. Don't rely only on selfies. Include nice full body shots. Complete your profile fully. Include some humor and add your interests. Explain what you are looking for, what type of person you are, and what your ideal relationship looks like. It is helpful to know your expectations, even if it is just a casual encounter. Be upfront and honest. If you need help, there are community forums for each dating application that can review your profile and give feedback. Story 14. This might be a bold opinion, but I personally know which of my friends are objectively more conventionally attractive than me, and I would not put them in the first picture on my profile. I do not know why guys do this all the time. Story 15. Someone who seems put together, mature, and who tries in life. I'm not a partier. I don't fish. I just want someone sensible and good. If I see someone with hunting gear, holding a fish, holding alcohol at a party with glazed over eyes, or who posts shirtless pictures, I generally avoid them. It is important that I find someone with similar values and life goals as me, and who is around the same age. I am in my late 20s, a left-leaning Christian, college-educated, and I want kids. I want someone who is looking for a serious relationship, a life partner. Story 16. Pictures of the person looking like they are having fun or do not take themselves too seriously. Something that makes me smile or laugh. Enough detail that I can tell if we have some overlap in interests and values. Effort, for example, you can tell they put thought into their profile. Something that showcases their interests. Something that makes me curious to know more or gives me something to ask about when I message them. Some easy ways to lose my interest. Flexing or gym selfies. Shirtless photos except if it is in context, for example, a beach photo. Dead animals. Kids' faces in their photos, although it is a positive sign if they have blurred their face, showing they are good with kids and value keeping them safe. Story 17. On Hinge. Smiles with teeth. Actually answering the prompts. Ask me does not count. Something funny or interesting I can respond to. Taking things in real life. Ask to take me out when there is momentum. Story 18. Be intentional. Actually put thought into what you display. I think most men don't want to look vulnerable, but that is what draws someone in. Saying first rounds on me, if you're real, just shows a disinterested guy who's been through it all before, which is fair, but keep trying. Also, for the love of God, put a well-lit photo. Not you in a group shot or holding a baby that isn't yours. Take a full mirror selfie or ask a friend to take it when you wear your favorite outfit. Sell yourself a little. Good luck. Story 19. Many women appreciate facts and details. Be clear and descriptive about what you are observing. It is important to communicate precisely. Story 20. Honesty. I want honest, unfiltered images. And dear Lord above, no pictures of dead animals or your vehicle. However, please have both a vehicle and a job or be actively looking for one. Story 21. I am no longer using the applications, but effort matters. Many of the profiles lack effort and consist of one-word answers to prompts that do not showcase personality or hobbies. Story 22. Photos. One picture makes me think you are a catfish or just not that into the whole thing. Please have more than one. Then the bios, I swear, a little effort goes a long way. You do not need to write a novel, but give me something. Story 23. I would like to add a picture of myself with my mother, noting that she will not be in attendance following the Toby Carvery incident of 2023. Story 24. I know what I'm not looking for. Sunglasses on in more than one picture. Swearing with fingers, what is that? So unattractive. Pictures in your van or on a bed. More than one topless picture. Holiday pictures are understandable, but otherwise I'm going to assume you're after a fling. All the pictures at obscure angles. This suggests you think you're unattractive. If we meet, I'm going to see what you look like, so I'm not sure what side profiles on every picture are supposed to achieve. The same headshot repeated. Only one picture. Blurry pictures. We live in an age where phone cameras are as good as some professional cameras, so your pictures must be ancient. Guys complain that women don't open the conversation. Put something on the profile we can work with, an idea of how you like to spend your time or the kind of things that interest you, at least. Alcohol in every picture makes you look like a lout. Artificial intelligence generated images, we can tell. No smiling pictures. If you have a closed mouth smile in every picture, I'm not risking it. You might have a mouth like you've chomped on a jigsaw. Story 25. I am looking for anyone without a dating application, to be honest. After 6 months of being on those platforms, I did not meet one sane, truthful individual at all. Story 26. Am I attracted to you? Can you hold a conversation? Are you generally a good person? Do you have a job or career? Do you have a car? I also value education a great deal, but as long as you know what you are doing, having completed high school is fine as well. If those boxes are checked, we are looking at some great potential. I will tell you what I am not looking for. A creepy sex fiend who cannot talk to me like a decent human being. Story 27. People are literally just looking for attractive people on dating applications. If you are attractive, you get matches. That is the overwhelming preference. Story 28. Put your face in your pictures. I don't want group shots where I can't tell which one you are. I don't want photos of you from far away. I don't want a meme. I don't want pictures of a pizza you had one time or you on a motorcycle with a helmet on or you from behind. I want to see what your face looks like so I can determine if I'm attracted to you. You have a maximum of 6 photos to attract me, and I'm not swiping if I can't tell if you're attractive or not. I have this specifically in my profile, and men will argue with me that they use non-face pictures to show their interests. Those come through in the conversation. Dating applications are initially about physical attraction. Just show me your face. Story 29. Reading through these responses, I have already checked most of the boxes. I must have the best profile on the app. Checks messages. No, I guess I'm just unattractive. Story 30. I was on a dating application a long time ago. I feel my answer may still be useful. I was looking for mutual interests and a touch of eccentricity. I also wanted to date someone with no children, as it would be unfair to everyone since I did not want children. Looks were not at all a big deal, but a bit of a connection that way was ideal. I would say I wanted a creative soul. Also, not religious. I hope that helps, but it is just me. Animal lover too. Music lover. We have been married 20 years this month. Yes, that was the beginning of dating applications, so it could be very different now. Story 31. My profile has been complimented often enough that I like to think I have a few aspects dialed in. I am a pretty average-looking guy, but have had plenty of success on dating applications just being myself. That involves making an actual effort to share who I am. Prompts are mostly endearingly wholesome with a slightly dark wit. Silly without reaching too far for a laugh, while finding space to offer some of my simple pleasures as an easy entry point to break the ice conversationally. Do not be creepy. People cannot tell yet if you are joking, and it is not as funny as you think. Do not be pushy or too serious. Matches do not owe you anything. Extending on that last point, you have 3 prompts or 500 characters to describe yourself. For the love of God, do not waste it on giving a list of red flags you are trying to avoid. Do not waste my time. Do not lie to me. Or any other wounding you justifiably where is not really meant for first impressions. Nobody thinks of themselves as a liar or cheater, yet people do it all the time. So telling them not to is not really doing you any favors. Be reasonably optimistic here. Not to get too long-winded, but when choosing photos, avoid wearing a hat and glasses in all of them. Also avoid wearing a suit, dress, or formal wear in all of them. I find people who make their entire profile a hit list of their best formal outfits are kind of inaccessible as anything other than museum-grade specimens who never put on sweatpants and a hoodie. Some formal, some sporty, some street. It gives the viewer some concept of what you might look like in everyday life. When you have a 15-second audition, appearing dynamic and varied is crucial. Story 32. I just recently left dating apps after spending a lot of time on them. I would never consider anyone with the following: all photos in sunglasses or hats. You don't need many photos, but you should have at least one that clearly shows your entire face. Shirtless photos. I was looking for something genuine. If you're displaying your body, you are probably just trying to entice someone for sex. Hunting or fishing photos. Most of these men tend to be conservative. Many women do not want to date people who vote against their rights. Blank bios. If you don't care, why should I? I get hundreds of likes a day. If you can't say anything about yourself, I'll spend my time on someone who isn't lazy. Phrases like, just seeing what's out there. That might be acceptable if you're 18 to 21, but older than that you should be mature enough to know what you want and not treat this like a supermarket where you select products off a shelf. Still figuring it out. Either admit you just want sex, or leave the dating pool before you hurt someone with your indecisiveness. A bio full of requirements instead of information about yourself. Nobody is lining up to talk to you based solely on your appearance. You are one in a crowd. Sell yourself first, then save your demands for later conversations. Snapchat username. I will judge you harshly. You have that open for everyone to add you, and I am too old to entertain someone who uses disappearing messages. Snapchat is for dishonest people and kids. Story 33. There are certain signs to determine if he is a loser or a dirtbag. If he does not give immediate red flags, I read the biography thoroughly. I look for character, intelligence, cleanliness, trustworthiness, conscientiousness, and so on. Red flags. Picture of a car or other bragging item. Picture of him shirtless or worse. Picture of him smoking or smoking marijuana. Even if he smokes, a photo of it suggests a loser. Picture of him at the gym. Negative comments, warnings, or begging of any kind. Unsure or vague about goals and boundaries. Indicates suspicious behavior and a desire for hookups. Green flags. Picture of him dressed up at an event, such as a sister's wedding. Positive thoughts, comments, stories, poetry, etc. Pictures of pets. Ultra green flags. Able to identify his goal, what he is looking for, and clearly articulate boundaries, e.g., looking to start a family, hoping to get to know someone awesome and see where it goes. Other than these, it varies for everyone. Let your personality show so the right person connects with you. Being too vague or blank will not attract the right match. Story 34. What is interesting is that many of the responses here are the exact opposite of what you find in 90% of women's profiles. Story 35. Something that shows personality. I do not need to know that physical touch is your love language. Also, I am looking for answers at least a sentence long. Tell me what you are passionate about, what you are currently watching, and which character you dislike. Story 36. Man, I am getting mixed messages here. It seems there is a divide between women who are attracted to confident men and women who dislike confident men. Story 37. Honestly and in order. 1. Does this person seem safe? 2. Does this person seem interesting? 3. Does this person seem attractive? Story 38. Women are not honest about what they want in dating. They often say they want a man who is nice, smart, kind, honest, and puts in effort, but then reject that profile without a second thought based on other criteria, mostly looks, money, and height. Men may be shallow, but at least they are honest. Story 39. A man holding up a dead fish with a mischievous grin on his face, apparently thinking, me caveman, me catch food. Story 40. Not a girl, but genuinely, I am like 99% sure if you are attractive, you will get matches, and if you are not, you will not. As long as your profile is not just one picture of you in a banana costume, any profile optimization helps a little bit. However, the deciding factor is simply whether you are good-looking, which is fair, by the way. It is almost the entire premise of the applications. Story 41. I am a girl in my early 20s, and I am not really into hookup culture. So if I see anything that says short-term fun, it is an immediate no. If all of your pictures are group pictures with your friends and I cannot even tell who you are, that is also an immediate no. Things that catch my eye are 1. Funny bios. 2. Having a dog. 3. Having more than 3 pictures. 4. Being tall. Story 42. Leftist, no children or does not want children, monogamous, within 5 years of my age on either side. This eliminates 90% of men. Then weed out any smokers, mention of church or Jesus, or sports obsession. Of the maybe 10 men left, match with the most attractive nerd. Story 43. Realistically, girls are the worst people to ask, just as it is unrealistic to ask guys what they are looking for. Statistically, 95% of profiles women swipe on are men advertising heights over 6 feet or incomes over 6 figures, both of which are exaggerated. Similarly, guys tend to swipe more on pictures of unrealistically attractive women, even if the rest of the profile is blank. Everyone claims they are looking for a detailed description, someone who shares their interests or something similar, but the truth is different. Story 44. I think the only thing that matters is how you look, not even in real life, just in the pictures. You could put together the best profile ever, but you will be beaten every time by the better-looking person who put no effort into the profile. Story 45. As a girly pop, you'd be surprised how little women care about certain things. Girls who are obsessed with tall men have no clue unless they are also tall. My ex was 6 feet 6 inches and it was awful. I thought he was 6 feet 1 inch when we started dating because that's what he told me. I've met men who were with girls who like tall guys and they were 5 feet 9 inches. Not good judges of height, like how men often are good judges of women's weight, at least in my experience. Most girls just want someone taller than them in heels or platforms. Be strong enough to pick up an average-size girl. That doesn't mean be fit. Have a good personality. That means working on yourself. Always be actively improving. Learn how to be proactive and do what you say. This will improve your whole life. We don't care about your girlfriend from 4 years ago who manipulated you. Men like that will expect you to get over your ex who hit you 4 months ago. Don't be that guy. Be yourself. But girls don't like that. See the third point. There's a reason why girls don't like that, and it's not because you're the only nice guy ever. But if you show who you are instead of trying to look more attractive, we get a sense of you, and that's attractive. Be confident, not cocky. Be graceful. If you expect something from a girl, you are not getting it. Be hopeful and accept it if it doesn't work out. Understand you are not your type and that there is someone out there for you. Don't settle because someone shows interest. The number of men who date women they don't like because they don't think they have options is why many women think men don't bring anything to a relationship. But don't always look for the next best thing. You'll never be happy. For goodness sake, brush your teeth. In my 25 years of life, every man I've ever met does not brush their teeth twice a day at reasonable times. Be hygienic. The way you treat your partner will dictate your relationship with them. Treat them well, and they should treat you well. If they don't, leave. It's the same with women. All of this is easy when you are trying to better yourself as a person, not for a relationship. Keep that in mind. Also, there's a reason why many women love Danny DeVito and a reason why Adam Gomez is like the shiny, sparkly man of our dreams. Story 46. A real profile, not an advertisement for sex. I want to see genuine information about you, such as your hobbies, motivations, and passions. I am looking for someone I would genuinely enjoy being around, so I want to see that you have a personality rather than just mirror pictures. A major reason I swipe left is if there is no compelling written profile. Short answers are not interesting. I want to know about your passions in detail. Story 47. I hate seeing an Instagram or Snapchat username. I refuse to believe that anyone who has hundreds of random girls from dating applications following them or that they follow on social media is looking for anything serious. Plus, let's say you did get into a relationship. You are still following a bunch of women you find attractive. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. Story 48. For me personally, no cannabis, smoking, or drugs. Prompts should be kind and intelligent but not overbearing. Clear pictures where I can see the face and energy. Try to avoid group pictures and selfies, but 1 or 2 is fine. Story 49. Personality and effort matter. Avoid group photos as your first picture. Many times I have seen a man with a group photo first, and it is difficult to identify him. Also, please ask your female friends to review your profile. Men often do not know what makes a flattering photo, and this can seriously reduce their chances of getting likes on dating apps that rely heavily on first impressions and appearance. Story 50. I want at least 4 photos. 1. A nice face with a smile. 2. A full body photo. 3. Doing something active to show your interests. 4. Doing something with friends to show you have friends. I want a few thoughts in your profile that prompt an easy conversation starter. Something cheeky but honest. Example: Star Wars is better than Star Trek. The Empire Strikes Back is the best film ever, but I'd be happy to discuss the merits of The Lord of the Rings. Dogs rule. Cats drool. I will be happy to share my French fries with you, as long as you're open to sharing some of your hot fudge sundae with me. Story 51. Job. College degree. interests that align with mine, whether you have children, smoke, drink alcohol, use cannabis, etc. Pictures from multiple angles showing full body and face and hair. Intentions with using the application: long-term, short-term, casual relationship, etc. Story 52. Many of these comments already offer good advice. I would like to add, please be genuinely passionate about something or many things. A nonchalant attitude about everything suggests to me that someone either lacks hobbies or does not have much in their life to care about. It does not matter what it is, honestly. You could be very interested in native plants in your area, and at least the person matching with you would have something to talk about. When someone asks you about your hobbies, please do not seem annoyed. I matched with someone once who was into foraging. I asked about foraging because I had never done it but was interested. They seemed almost offended that I mentioned it, even though it was all over their profile. Most importantly, be honest. Even if you try to adjust your interests to seem more likable to someone you match with, your true feelings about things will eventually come out. For example, considering political views, you can find many people who share your perspective. Honesty will save everyone heartbreak down the line. Story 53. Things that signal compatibility include taking care of yourself, knowing how to look good in pictures without using low-quality phone photos, traveling, and engaging in other activities. Posting many pictures taken in your bedroom suggests that you may not participate in various activities. Story 54. No group photos or sunglasses. Actually has interests, not just food and travel. I am not into guys listing their heights personally. Story 55. Too many men take photos of themselves with the camera pointing up at them while they are slouched into a couch. Post a photo in a nice button-up shirt with good lighting or something that shows effort. Story 56. I pay a lot of attention to prompts and the written portions of people's profiles, which I find frustrating because most people do not write anything in them. Most just have three-word generic answers like food and travel. I usually skip people who do not show much personality on their profiles regardless of how physically attractive they are. I would rather match with an average-looking man who shows a nice personality on their profile than someone who looks good and shows no effort. I tend to associate the latter with a man who is not looking for anything serious and is just there to get laid. Sometimes if they do not have prompts but have pictures that showcase their personality, like funny pictures, cosplay, or show similar interests to mine, I will like and match with them. Sadly, the vast majority of profiles coming my way seem to be good-looking men with no personality. It is almost like profiles made by bots. The algorithm is showing me people like this, but I never like that sort of profile. So yes, I hate the algorithm and I hate dating sites in general. They are a cesspit of superficiality and promiscuity, which makes me very frustrated. That being said, I have never had a relationship with someone I have met on a dating site. All my relationships were with people I started out seeing as friends. Story 57. One group photo maximum. Make it obvious who you are and don't use it as your first photo. Sunglasses are fine in a photo, but limit them to one group photo. You can tell a lot about a person from the eyes, and it seems suspicious if your profile hides them completely. Show yourself as you are. Don't try too hard. Photos can be selfies, candid shots, or whatever. Just don't be awkward. Also, avoid middle finger pictures, tongue-out pictures, and similar gestures. I don't know who is into that, but everyone I know finds it off-putting and swipes left. Fill out your profile, especially the bio. Don't say things like, "I hate bios. Just ask me." Show that you care. On Hinge, answer the questions or prompts. On Woo Plus, don't just put periods or commas. Say something meaningful. Who wants to start a conversation with someone they know nothing about? Keep your tone neutral to positive. Avoid phrases like, "last try on here," "why am I here," or "ready to give up." We've all been there, but nobody will swipe right out of pity. It makes you look bad. Include your profession, even vaguely. If you work in public service, say so. Military service? Say so. School of Hard Knocks is not funny, especially since it shows up on too many profiles. I get along best long-term with people in my field or related professions. I need to know what you do. I don't care about your income. I just want to make sure our schedules and personalities are compatible. Back to photos. If you have a photo with another person or group of people, and they are female, I will assume those are the kind of women you are attracted to. If that doesn't align with what I look like, which it usually doesn't, I will swipe left because I'll assume I'm not your type. If you swipe on me first, I will assume you want to use me for casual or secret relationships and don't want anything serious. I don't want to be the odd one out among your friends or their significant others. I type how I talk, but hopefully this helps. Take it seriously if you're actually looking to date. Have fun with it, but don't make it ridiculous or cringy. Story 58. Some clue that you are more into being true to yourself than masculinity signaling. Some overlapping interests. Some self-care and health habits. Some evidence that you both know how and willingly engage in basic housework. I would be more likely to match with a picture if you were doing dishes than waving a fish around. If you just cooked the fish, that is different. I do not want a Calvin Klein model or whatever the cool thing is now. Bonus points if you exhibit creative problem solving or a good balance between fun and frugal. I would look for a man who looks happy and takes care of himself. He does not have to be a health nut, but I do not want to be a mommy about someone else's health. Versatility is cool because I like trying new things and love everything from camping to gardening to video games. Instant disqualifications in no particular order. You have children, not a failure on your part, just not the life I want. Drive a Cybertruck, support Make America Great Again, or are involved in cryptocurrency. Story 59. Geez, I am reading this to improve my profile, but the requirements are many and every girl has a different one. Story 60. For the love of God, stop with the artificial intelligence photos. If you like to complain about women using filters, this is the most obvious and cringe one men use. Also, if you post your Instagram, make sure it is public. I am not requesting to follow you just to find out I am not into it. Story 61. An amusing, anecdotal bit of text that shows some personality, opinion, and a strong sense of self. Story 62. Guys complain constantly about women being too selective, but genuinely, just putting in the bare minimum effort will immediately put you in the top 10% of men on dating applications. A good mix of photos that give a clear idea of what you look like and some of your personality, a thoughtful biography, and filling out all of the fields. Then, when you match, put effort into holding a conversation. Ask questions and answer meaningfully. I filter out many guys who I would otherwise be attracted to because they just will not put any effort in. Story 63. A clear photo of the face and general shape of the body, preferably taken in daylight. Avoid numerous selfies. Display good humor and the ability to form coherent thoughts demonstrating free will. Include information about education or employment. Show some personality, such as a quote that relates to your interests like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Talladega Nights. Provide a clear intention, as mixed messages are a turn-off and easily detected. Story 64. You do not want shirtless pictures because they indicate a negative impression, but when you post yoga pants pictures and you stick your butt out, it is acceptable. Story 65. A guy who is in my age bracket, let's say 32 to 42, a little alternative, does not want children, has a job, and has hobbies and interests he can discuss or we can share. Not just sports, fishing, cars, or investing. There is nothing wrong with those interests, I just find them really boring, and I would rather watch paint dry than go to a car show. I have also historically only dated men who like heavy music, which I suppose you could say is my main interest. If you are wondering, yes, I looked for many years before I found someone who meets my criteria. Story 66. I am a 43-year-old woman just re-entering the dating world. The number of men my age or in their late 30s to early 40s looking for short-term relationships is disheartening. How are you losing your hairline but still do not want a relationship? Frustrates me. Also, many profiles show men wearing sunglasses. I wonder if they are hiding a lazy eye. Story 67. I hate when every picture has the face hidden, like with sunglasses, filters, or just looking away. Story 68. The problem with these questions is they target the audience that you are least likely to encounter. Those who respond are the ones you are looking for, yet unlikely to actually meet. I do not have a good answer or even a good comment. I just think these questions are, frankly, lazy. When you are asking potentially millions of people, you need to make sure your question is well crafted to elicit the answers you are seeking. Story 69. I want to get an idea of who the person is. I believe you should list your interests, who influences you, and similar information. You can also include 1 or 2 pictures, such as something that made you laugh or a photo you took and really like. This gives me an idea of the person's personality. Story 70. Not a girl, but let's be real. For the vast majority of women, including those writing long paragraphs with lists of what not to do, the one thing that matters most is how attractive you look. It's the ultimate shortcut. Once you've got that, your bio doesn't matter, your hobbies don't matter, and even if your attitude is borderline rude, they'll still tolerate it just to be with you. What's even more ironic is how low effort and surface level most women's profiles are. A few selfies, maybe a generic travel picture, and a one-liner like, just looking for good vibes. That's the standard. No personality, no substance. Yet they expect you to write an engaging bio, be witty, attractive, tall, emotionally intelligent, and still make the first move. The double standard is right there in plain sight, but no one talks about it because it benefits them. The female mind in this context is a fascinating study, but men need to stop taking the advice at face value. If you're not already on dating applications, don't let their suggestions push you into joining. You'll be hit with a rude awakening that can crush your self-esteem. Women make up maybe 30% or less of the user base on most applications, and they're constantly bombarded with male attention to the point where they don't even know how to handle it. The result? Many of them end up chasing the worst possible guys with a bad boy vibe and the so-called top 10% tall, handsome, rich types. And those men, they have options, so they cycle through women, often leaving emotional wreckage behind. Not everyone on the dating applications is a bad person, but there are a lot of dysfunctional people who struggle to meet people in real life or to stay in a relationship with anyone they do manage to meet. They're single for a reason, and the applications attract many of those people, unstable individuals and toxic people. They treat others poorly, which is why they can't stay in relationships, but the applications give them a never-ending supply of new people to try. Your best bet is to meet women in the real world while doing things you genuinely enjoy or even through random life moments. That's where authenticity shows, and the playing field is more even. Story 71. Similar interests to me. Also, if your life is your dog, I will pass. Please fill out the prompts with actual answers because the more information I have, the more likely I am to initiate a conversation and have a direct question about an interest instead of just asking how your day is going. Story 72. Standards are too high. 70% of women are looking for 10% of men. There are many disappointed women. The problem is that what they look for in men, they cannot provide themselves. Men will not make you happy. Happiness starts within each individual. That is why I like the peace of my home, my hobbies, and my activities. I enjoy sports, my motorcycle, and my hobbies. Most importantly, I value my peace and calmness. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.